banned and deported.
I'm
two
saying,
women.
Oh, forget that they're women. That's a ridiculous argument. The fact
there was
is,
a lot of misogyny and racism.
They got the right, haven't they?
And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. Guys, we've got another reaction-based video today. We're going to be taking a look at a segment from the Jeremy Vine show where Narinder, of course, the race-baiting Narinder, we know what her ideologies always are, and the victimhood reality of how she lives her life, always, playing the victim card in everything she says. And she didn't disappoint in this debate. Now, over the weekend, of course, we've seen two Labour MPs banned and deported from Israel, and she shares the view that it is an absolute disgrace, and also tried to pull the sort of race card that because they weren't white MPs, and also tried to play the card that they were female, and she does get shut down by the remainder of the panel, which is good to see. Now, my opinion on those two Labour MPs not being allowed into Israel is that I share Kemi Badenoch's view, really, on it. I do believe that Israel do have a right to allow who they want into their country and try and keep it safe. These two Labour MPs in question that did get deported are no saints, by the way. They're not exactly people that have Israel's best interest at their heart, and actually have got a history of, pushing anti-Israel propaganda and swaying more towards Hamas. So there is any reason as to why they went in. The British Parliament are making out that they are saints and done nothing wrong. Just look at their history, and that's probably give you a reason as to why Israel did not let them in over the weekend and banned and deported them. But let's have a watch of this debate, and as stated, Narinder, of course, playing that victim card in a bit of a ferocious debate. She always squeals when she's speaking. But have a watch, guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, let's have a watch of this.
Well, our first story takes us actually to a couple of places. Firstly, the border of Israel, and there's a Labour MP called Absalam Mohammed and another one called Yuang Yang, and those are the two Labour MPs there in the mail, okay? And they were trying to get into Israel. Obviously, they are particularly cross about the way that Israel has been behaving in Gaza. They've been refused entry. Now, the second location is the Laura Kuenssberg studio yesterday, where I happened to be a panellist, okay? And Kemi Badenoch, the Tory leader, came in. She was interviewed by Laura, and I was watching, and I was quite surprised by this answer.
Countries should be able to control their borders. What I think is shocking is that we have MPs in Labour who other countries will not allow through. I think that's very significant.
Shocking because?
Well, if you look at the reasons why the Israeli government has given for why they're not letting them in, they don't believe that they're going to comply with their laws. MPs do not have diplomatic immunity. I believe that the people who represent us in Parliament should be people who should be able to go anywhere in the world, and people not be worried about what they're going to do when they go into those countries.
What do you make of that?
I thought it was disgraceful.
To say that I'm shocked that MPs in Labour who aren't allowed into Israel.
The leader of the opposition supporting Israel over her parliamentary friends is disgraceful. She's a betrayer of Britain. That's how I saw it. I was actually quite shocked she said that.
Well, Angela,
no matter what her feelings about Israel and Gaza.
Yeah, I thought the rule is you don't dump on MPs, even if they're from a...
What does she not get that it's about the history of these two Labour MPs and what they've said in the past? As I said, they're not just Labour MPs. They have pushed an anti-Israel propaganda for a very, very long time. So why is it so ludicrous? Why is it so crazy and shocking that a country doesn't let two people in that have, voiced and went against their narrative? Like, why is that so crazy to understand? I really don't get it. I really don't get it.
Another party if they're in trouble overseas. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me.
Well, I think there are two things here. I mean, there's an element of governmental party manners of whether it's discourteous to do that. However, I think the much bigger picture here is that Israel is a sovereign nation which is entitled to protect its borders in the way that we would expect the UK to. Now, these two MPs have made egregious, tantamount, you could perceive them almost to be pro-Hamas propagandising comments.
That is ridiculous.
Let me finish, Narinder. Let me finish, and then you can come back to me, please. They've said things that are manifestly untrue. They support the boycotting of Israel. They have said things that actually promote anti-Israel and, more significantly, anti-Semitic statements.
But they're only going in to have a look, aren't they? I mean,
doesn't matter. The point is, Israel is surrounded by nations that want to destroy it, including a proscribed terrorist organisation. I've been there many times. I've had to run for cover when missiles are falling. It is not a pleasant way to live. I've been at the airport when they've asked me loads of questions, and I've been there and back literally hundreds of times. It is entitled to protect itself against people that
it's more about Kemi
think...
Badenoch for you, is it? That
Okay, but I just want to make clear that
Narinder, come back
Israel...
They're not the first to have criticised, but they are the first to have been banned and deported, and I think that's disgraceful. They are our MPs. They've been elected by our people. It's not so what. They haven't done anything, and you're accusing them of such outrageous... If they're entitled,
Look at the parliamentary footage.
There's so much footage that they...
See what they've said.
They're entitled to criticise and go in and look. And the fact that they were banned and deported, what is Israel trying to hide? What are they scared of?
Don't be so shallow.
But you're being shallow.
No, I'm not. Respectfully.
You're agreeing that they should be banned and deported.
Two
women
Oh,
British
forget that
MPs
they're
of
women. That's
colour.
a ridiculous argument.
I think there was a lot of misogyny and
they've got
racism.
the right, haven't they, Narinder? Seriously, Israel have got the right to say, sorry, not today.
Not
for whatever reason. Yeah,
not our MPs.
Only that they...
If they think it's a security threat...
How is that a security threat? They were going with a whole load of people.
Because Israel is constantly on security alert. They
weren't going to do anything.
Okay.
And see for yourself what it's like.
I mean, there's so much wrong with that. Like Narinder, it's just like textbook from her. It's always race baiting and trying to play the victim card in every circumstance. Oh, it's because they're of colour. Shut up, Narinder. No, it's not. It's not because they're women either. It's nothing to do because they're women and they're a women of colour. Forget about this Labour MP stuff. Regardless, it's nothing to do with Israel if you're a British Labour MP. They have went around... The propaganda that they have been talking about Israel is anti-Israel and almost supporting a terrorist organisation in Hamas. So why is it so shocking to Narinder and the remainder of the parliamentarians that they weren't allowed in? It's so obvious. If you're going to a country and you're being so anti them, right? And you're being so anti them, pushing a narrative that a war with another people, they're at war, right? And they support their enemy. Why on earth are they going to allow them to just come in just because they're a British Labour MP? Narinder's making out that Labour MPs have a God-given right. We've just seen loads of Labour MPs as if they're above the law. We've seen a load of Labour MPs this year alone been arrested. We've got one, Mike Amesbury, for assaulting one of his constituents in the street and was lucky not to be jailed for a very long time. You've also got, of course, the guy that's literally Dan Norris, who's just been arrested for allegations of rape. You've also got the other guy as well, Ivor Chaplin, at the start of the year getting caught on paedophile hunters. So just making out as just because they're Labour MPs, they're above the law and doesn't mean that they can go anywhere in the world. If you're pushing a pro-Hamas propaganda, anti-Israel propaganda, then a country has every right not to let them in. And Narinder just needs to stop and actually look at the situation as to why they weren't allowed in and not play the race card as she always does and the gender card. It's just typical Narinder every single time, and she's probably one of the most, I really dislike her, and I'm only bringing it to you so we can mock her because she's absolutely diabolical. I don't even know what her job is. Was she a journalist or something like that? I don't know. She's just a professional victim card player. But guys, do let me know your thoughts on that down there in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Peace.